Hi, this is Rick from Hiking Emergency Beacon, and today I want to compare the Garmin inReach Mini versus well, it used to be called the Bivy Stick Blue. Now it's called ACR Bivy Stick, and it has a different color, but it's the same device. But before we get into it, please like, subscribe, share, and turn on notifications so you'll be updated when I put out new videos on hiking emergency beacons or satellite messengers. All right, you'll notice really quick, both of these are very small. The Garmin inReach Mini, looks a little bit thicker, and I'll show you up close, but it has an attachment on the back so I can take this off the Velcro and then hold it and look at it if I need to. The Bivy Stick Blue actually usually sits in this pouch right here. It's really small, and both of them I don't even realize they're on my pack when I'm out hiking or out fishing or something, because I'll take it out with me when I'm on the river too, to carry some of my gear. So both of these are two-way messengers. They both have the ability to view maps when you're using your smartphone. The Garmin inReach Explorer Plus is the only one that's a standalone device. You have a screen that you can see a map on. Both of these, Garmin inReach Mini, you can see a map when it's synced to your cell phone. And then also the ACR Bivy Stick, same thing. You can see maps. They're different maps. They have some little different qualities. They're both great devices. They both have worldwide coverage, and so there's no gaps in their coverage from pole to pole, all worldwide, anywhere where you're at. They're both great devices. So I'm going to now show you a little bit of the differences between the two, and then you can make up your mind which one you like the best. But I highly recommend both of them. I will give you a little spoiler alert right now. The Garmin inReach Mini today is still my favorite because I mostly do day hikes, but the ACR Bivy Stick is a close second. Could change, but again, they're both small. They both work great, and you don't even know you're carrying it when you're out. So here's a close-up of both of these. You can see when you include the antenna on the Garmin, it's almost as tall. It's a little bit shorter. They're both about the same width. You can see here the Garmin is slightly wider. The Garmin does have this clip on the back right now that helps attach to my pack, so it looks slightly wider. So the Bivy Stick is slightly thinner, but they're about the same weight. Both really small, great devices. So real quick, let's look at the Bivy Stick closer. You've got a screen here on the front. You cannot see maps, but you can text and you can send messages, and you can do some typing on here on the messages. You can use this as a standalone device, but it's really challenging because you got to use the up arrow and the OK, and you got to move around the screen. It takes a while to do a message on the phone, but still you can use it as a standalone. So on the top here, there's the power button, and on the side there's an OK and a back button, and here's the SOS button. You open it, you hold it down for like 3 seconds or something like that, and you'll have help on the way. On the left side, as you're facing the front, there's an up and down arrow, and that's pretty much it. You can see an up and down arrow indication on the screen, okay, and here on the right on the screen also, and the back arrow, so it tells you what's the buttons that are on each side. The ACR Bivy Stick has a signal indicator on the top left here. It just indicates the strength of satellite coverage or signal. So if you have quite a few satellites, it'll be green. If you have just a few, it'll be yellow. And if you don't have any, it'll be red. The status here, I don't recall what the status is, but I'll put it on the screen so you'll have it in text form, even though I don't remember what status is at the moment. There's a check-in button right here. Again, and you hit that, and it automatically sends the people that you want to, hey, everything's good, just checking in, no problem. Here's the power button, and on the bottom there, this is the USB port, and you can see it right there. And then you've got the SOS port here, and it can be a little challenging to open, which is probably good so you don't accidentally hit the button. Again, you hold it down for 3 seconds or more, and help will be on the way. There is an attachment on this one here for GoPros. They have a GoPro attachment, so you can put it on your bike, on your boat, on your Jeep, and whatever. And as long as you have a clear view of the sky, you're going to get coverage, and you can get messages, and you can see your map, etc. Anyway, it's a great device. I like it a lot. So what I'm going to show you now is some of the apps. So both of them have their own app. Garmin has an Earthmate app. Bivy has a Bivy app. I'll show you what it looks like as you move around the screen and see what kind of functions they have. Let's start with the Garmin inReach Mini. So first of all, you want to turn it on. You have to hold it down for a couple seconds. There it goes. It says Garmin, it's on. There's a warning message. And says always test your device. I absolutely agree with that. And anytime you go out, because I've done this several times, as I think I've got 7 satellite messengers now, and I'll go out not too far away from my house, but where I don't have any self-service, and then I'll test it. And I've made several mistakes, and but not being too far in the mountains, I've tested it, checked if I can message people, how the maps work. Did I activate it correctly? And so you make sure you want to do that. So right now it's given the time and the date and the battery indication, and it also shows it has a Bluetooth connected. So let's look at the app now. All right, well, you can see on my screen if you can, and I'll take some screenshots, so I'll be able to put it up on the video, makes it more obvious, because there could be a glare or you just may not be able to see it very well. And so right here is the Earthmate app, and so right now I'm on messages, so I'm going to go back to the map page. And so it's on a map. It doesn't show my location yet, but if I hit this arrow, or this, it's an arrow looking button here at the top, it then zooms into my location. So the blue arrow is mine. I'm at a campsite. I'm just north of Woodland Park, Colorado. And there's a little campground right here. It's closed for the winter, but it's great because I can get out here and make a video and nobody's around. This button right here locks the north arrow, but if you want to put it back, I normally keep it on this. I lock it. That was unlocked. Yeah, because when you have it unlocked, it puts you in the direction you're pointing. So that's not north. North is over here. So I'm going to lock it. There you go. North is straight up on the screen. Down here it gives the speed I'm traveling, and I'm not traveling right now. So 0.2 miles per hour. You're kind of incorrect. Oh, there you go. There's 0. Heading is 301, true north. We're at an elevation of 7877. There's a north and westing, so it gives your coordinates. And then down here, again, I'll take screenshots. Down here, there's a more, which is basically settings. There's a compass, there's tracking, and then there's messages and maps. So on this map, though, let's stay here real quick. I'll zoom in here a little bit, and there's a lake right here. It's Manitou Park Lake. What I like about this map here is it shows the trails, it shows roads, there's other information about the park, and then you can change it too. Like if you go up here, there's layers, and you can change it over to digital atlas color imagery. Let's try the color imagery, and then you can download maps too. So, but this is the standard map that you see from Earthmate, and it gives a lot of detail. Something here that you can see is I've been on a lot of different hikes up here around Colorado, and so it'll show different places I've been. There's a trail right here that I've been on, and it shows a good camping spot. It shows where the trail heads and the route. And what I like about Earthmate is you can go in ahead of time, put your route in, because sometimes you're on a trail and there's like multiple trails, and you can make it longer, shorter. And so I can go in and put the trail that I want to go on. So then not only does it show other trails, say right here, there are other trails that it shows, but I'm only taking a particular trail. So I really like having that option before I hit the road. All right, let's look at the rest of these things real quick. There's messages, and you can tell I've messaged back and forth. And here's one that I sent to myself, and I was testing the Garmin versus the Spot in the Bivy Stick. And so just again, let me clarify real quick between these. And this happens with Spot X and also the Bivy Stick. When you message from the Bivy Stick or the Spot X to the Garmin, it doesn't work. I've never been able to make it work. Whether I send it to the email or to the phone number, it just won't work. If I initiate the messages from the Garmin inReach, whether it's the Explorer Plus or the Mini, then I can message back and forth, but I have to initiate the messages from the Garmin device first. Okay, so enough of that. I'm sure I'll have some screenshots showing you different messages I've sent out. Now there's tracking right here, and you can see one of the latest tracks that I did. It was San Juan National Forest, actually no, Wiminushi. But anyway, so it laid down tracks. I think it was every 10 minutes, and you can change it. You can make it faster, longer. The longer between tracks, the longer your device's battery will work. So you can turn on tracking. You can, so right up here it says start. So you can hit You can start tracking right there on your screen. You can also start tracking from your device. Then there's a compass. You know, I really don't use the compass. Maybe I should. You can see I'm pointing north, kind of northwest, which is true. North is over here. And so again, it gives you information down here, your speed, your heading, your elevation. And then over here, it's more information. Like you can put waypoints down, routes, and you can get weather. Actually, I don't think I can show you the weather because I just have a basic plan. You have to. This is one thing to be careful of when you're picking a subscription. Make sure you pick it for, say, how much you want to text or share, or do you want weather or not. And so I have a basic plan right now. A lot of times I have the more of a, not the premium, but the second step up, and that gives me weather forecast. Right now I haven't been hiking as much, so I'm just using the basics so I can show you information. So there's routes. I've had a lot of different hiking places I've hiked, and waypoints. So this is really nice because when you're in the map, you can set your waypoints, and I'll show you real quick. So right here, there's a flag at the top. You hit that, and so my last waypoint I put down, and it's put it right here. It's not really what I want to put down, but it's showing a place for a photo opportunity, and I put photo op 5 because that was probably one of the last ones I did. It gives the time that I'm creating it, and the coordinates, and bearing and distance. So it's great being able to place these waypoints down, because if you're out and about and you've got a great place for a picnic, or there's a waterfall, or a place to camp, and somebody else has a device where you can communicate, then you can send them that waypoint, and it gives them the bearing distance, and then they can navigate directly to where you're at. Or you can put it down for yourself later, and then you can navigate back. Well, that's enough about the Garmin inReach Mini. It's not an in-depth review and comparison, but close enough. You'll see the differences, and if I remember a few more things here, I'll tell you. But right now, let's take a look at the Bivy app. All right, now for the Bivy app. It's actually called Bivy. It's right here. It's got, I guess, the lowercase b. Is that right? Yep. And the thing about this one, you always gotta test these. Right now it's not probably going to show that I'm online, so if you hit stick down here, it'll show you. See, it's not connected, and I don't like to connect that way. It never works for me with my iPhone 11. Other iPhones in the past, if you hold down the power button, it would let you, it would do something different. The iPhone 11, it doesn't work for me. So maybe for you, but not for me. So what I do is I get out of the app, I go to my settings, and so I go into the Bluetooth, and what you're supposed to do, well, in fact, I didn't have it powered on, but so you power on, you hold it down for like 2 seconds. If you can see it, it's got a red signal right now. There's a green button, a light on the power button. Now the signal has turned green, and so now let's go back to the Bivy app. And if I click stick down here again, it says disconnect Bivy Stick. So it is connected. So I'm going to go back to the home screen. There's some really nice things about this app. Down here at the bottom, it has home, map, stick, messages, profile. Same thing up here. It's got messages, SOS, check-in, and share my location. It has new adventures, offline maps, community, waypoint, weather, and settings. I will let you know right now, like when you go and get weather, there's like, I think it's 2 credits every time you check the weather. I will check it and I'll show you. But let's go look at the things here. Oh, one thing real quick down here, it says nearby adventures. And so you can see whether it's a hike, or maybe it's a river, or a mountain biking trail. It'll give you things down here, and you can click on them. So on the map, here's the differences between the map. Again, it's given nearby places or filter and all that. So let's look at the map first. So if you go to filter by, and I'm going to filter by trails, so you click on that button, and you can select river, fishing, pets, overnight camping, and there's all kinds of things, drinking water, tent sites. I normally just click hiking because that's usually what I'm interested in, and then you can see all the different trails it shows up here. So if you then go back, then it shows different places to hike. You can see all these different places close by to where I'm at. If I click on one of these, let's go click on one that's real close to me here, see what happens. And so it's a Colorado campground, and what it tells you is 0.8 miles away. No, I'm sorry, it's 0.7 miles away, and gives the name. That's, you know, if I wanted a trail, that's really not what I was looking for, but it's nice because it gives you campgrounds and some different things. Over here, there's some trails over here. There's Greenland Trail, Palmer Lake Reserve, Spruce Mountain Trail. I've been on the Spruce Mountain Trail before. And here it is, Spruce Mountain Trail. It gives you, it's in Douglas County, it has 4 stars. It's 13.7 miles away. And then if you swipe up, then you can see the profile. You can see max, min, time, elevation gain, and loss. You can see what it's for. There's a description, the season, and updated by, and it gives the person it was updated by. So it's a really nice app. It's there's things on this that it gives you that, you know, the Garmin inReach Mini or the Earthmate app doesn't give you. So over here, I need to actually show you, where was that at? Let me go show you an area real quick where I've hiked before. There's Dawson's Butte. This is Spruce Mountain. I've hiked this one quite a bit. And it's a great place when you bring family up here or friends. So what you can see right here, you can actually see the trail. It gives the name, and there's the different paths. So the only thing I don't think you can do on this one, and I haven't seen how to do it yet, before you go on a hike, you can't like say, well, I want to take this part of the trail. You can't put the route in. You can't put the trail in. You can do waypoints. There, right there, I just turned off that trail. And then you can, of course, click on the trail. There's pictures of the trail, and then there's information as I showed you earlier. There are, like I said, there are waypoints here, I believe. Yep, there are waypoints right here. This button right there, create my new waypoint. And what's your waypoint name? I'm going to put test, and done. Create, and there's a waypoint out here now, or should be. Yep, there it is. There's a waypoint. Not really where I wanted to put it. You can drag it and put it someplace else. And then you can hit track. You can start the tracking, and over here are the different maps. You can download new map. So these 3 buttons up here, this one at the top is a marker, turns markers on and off. This one here zooms in where you're at, and then this information right here, you can change it to satellite, topographic, hybrid. Let's see what happens when we go to satellite. And actually it does go to satellite. You can see right there. I'll take another screenshot, show you a little close up on the actual video. Up at the top left is the battery indicator for the ACR Bivy Stick. And I'm going to go back to my topo maps. I usually view everything on the topo maps. Go back and hitting stick right here, and it tells you account settings, updates available, about my Bivy Stick, disconnect, and user guide. Over here is the messages. So I have sent multiple messages already. Here's one where I sent to myself. These people out here really like flying airplanes. I love flying airplanes too, but it gets in the way of my videos sometimes. So this one here was a message from the Bivy Stick to my Garmin inReach Mini, and both of them never went through. Like I was telling you earlier, if you initiate it from the Garmin, you're good. If you don't, well, you're kind of in trouble. So this one here, see, this one's a test message from my Garmin to the Bivy Stick, and it works. See, I received it, and then I put a little message for the record. I can initiate from the Garmin, but not from the Spot X or the Bivy Stick. All right, so I've messaged a lot of different people here. It all works, and it's really simple. What I love about messaging on the phone versus the device. And just to be clear, you can't message from the Bivy Stick device. But you can from the Garmin inReach Mini. But on both of them, it's so much easier to message on your phone. It's just like texting, super easy. I originally, when I first was testing these, I didn't think I was going to like having to rely on my smartphone. However, the screen's a lot bigger. It's the convenience of testing or texting, messaging, whatever, on your phone is so much nicer, and then the maps show up better on your phone. I really like it. If I were going on a long hike or an outdoor adventure, I would take the Garmin inReach Explorer Plus. Because you can do everything from the phone, don't have to rely on your cell phone. Because when I go out for a while and I'm using my smartphone, I have to take a battery backup charger so that I can charge my cell phone. Because sometimes, it depends on how much I use it, I can lose the battery in a day. And here's the profile, and there's different things about the profile. I really don't use the profile, and that's pretty much it about it. So let me summarize real quick. Both of these devices have some standalone capability. The Garmin inReach Mini has a little bit more standalone capability because you can message from this device. On the ACR Bivy Stick, you cannot message from it, but you can check in and you can use the SOS. Same with the Garmin, you can do the SOS and check in and send messages. So both of them have limited ability when they're standalone, but when they are both synced to the smartphone, they have almost all the capabilities of the Garmin inReach Explorer Plus. The Garmin inReach Explorer Plus is the top of the line. You can't get better than the Garmin inReach Explorer Plus. It's because it has its maps, its displays on the screen, and it also has an altimeter, it has an accelerometer, and that's one other thing. I'll put it on the screen. So you can actually use it when you're flying, and you can use it to fly GPS approaches and departures and all that. So there's a bit more capability and strength in the Garmin inReach Explorer Plus. This isn't about that today. It's about these two. So I just got sidetracked. You know, if I were going to pick right now, I still am leaning towards the Garmin inReach Mini over the Bivy, and they're both great. They both have great maps, two-way messaging, global pole-to-pole coverage. They're both the same in those regards. What makes the Garmin inReach Mini stand out for me is it has the ability to send messages as a standalone device. The Earthmate app, having the ability to put in the route that I want to take when I'm at home and I'm on my computer, I can put my route in. I can put waypoints in ahead of time if I know, about the trail. Maybe I've been on the trail before, or there's things from research, I know where I want to start, where I want to end, and it has the ability to do that. So those two reasons are really what makes this stand out a little bit more for me than the ACR Bivy. They're both great devices. I would highly recommend both of these. They're both small, they're both compact, they're great devices. The Bivy Stick here is a bit more money, and I'll put it on the screen what the current price is. I've seen it range anywhere from $350 to $450. The Garmin inReach Mini, I think, is more in the $300 range. It's a little bit cheaper. They both have subscription costs. Both of them you can go to like a freedom plan or an independent plan, where you want to call it, where you can just use it per month when you're going to be out. They have a lot of similar qualities, and honestly, they're great. I still give the Garmin inReach Mini 5 stars instead of maybe 4.5 for the ACR Bivy, but it's a minor deal, and it's personally how I like to use it. You may never want to get on a map and put in your waypoints and your route, and you may not care about typing as a standalone device or messaging as a standalone device. I do. So this might be your device, but then you got to look also at the initial cost. You have to look at the subscription costs. How you use it. Do you use it once in a while? Do you use it all the time? A lot of things that go into it. So research carefully, and I've got a lot of articles, a lot of information on both of these devices on my site, and I compare all these together. There you go. That's it for the Garmin inReach Mini versus the ACR Bivy Stick. Well, thanks for joining me on Hiking Emergency Beacon as I compared the Garmin inReach Mini versus the ACR Bivy Stick. The ACR Bivy Stick used to be called the Bivy Stick Blue, but ACR bought them out. So thanks again. Please like, subscribe, share, and turn on notifications so you'll be notified as soon as I put out another video. Do a lot of comparisons, and I still have to buy the Zoleo. I may not pronounce it that way, but that's the next one I have to buy, and I'll have a lot of different videos coming out. So I'll see you back here soon on Hiking Emergency Beacon.